The records carved into the ancient archives of the nine provinces speak of a reckoning few dared to imagine. Martial God Asura, Chapter 475, Chapter 476, the once mighty powers, Yuangang School, hidden White Sect, free and unrestrained Valley, Fire God School, and the formidable J clan stand stripped of their ancestral treasures, their legacies teetering on the edge of oblivion. The Emperor's command forced them into sacrifice, yet even as the monstrous Monkey King's eyes bore judgment, the young hero Chu Feng walked unshaken among titans, a shadow of awe and fear trailing his every step. Now, whispers swirl across the continent. A hero reborn, a dynasty under strain, and 30 million profound beads to be delivered in 10 days, a task that might unravel more than mere wealth. The question lingers like a storm on the horizon. Can the Jiang Dynasty shoulder the impossible, or will the balance of power shatter entirely under the weight of ambition and fear? In the lands of the nine provinces, where legends are born and the clash of powers shapes the destiny of empires, a moment of unparalleled tension unfurled. Imagine four great clans, their ancient faces drained of color, standing before the decree of an emperor whose words carried the weight of fate itself. In that instant, the elders of Yuangang School, hidden White Sect, free and unrestrained Valley, and Fire God School turned a deep shade of eggplant, their expressions frozen in disbelief. They had spent nearly a millennium amassing their treasures. Profound beads that represented centuries of sweat, blood, and cultivation. And now they were asked to part with half of it. Even the thought alone made their hearts tremble. 5 million profound beads. Though extractable, it was like uprooting the roots of their ancestors' legacies. To comply meant sacrificing 1,000 years of hard-won honor, leaving their mighty clans as hollow shadows of former glory. Yet, the emperor's gaze was unyielding, his voice unwavering. To resist was to invite annihilation, and so, though their souls ached with loss, they bowed to the inexorable tide of authority. The monstrous Monkey King, who alone knew the true extent of these treasures, watched silently. Its fierce eyes softened, and a slight curve of amusement graced its lips. "Very well," it rumbled, voice echoing like distant thunder. "If even the emperor commands it, I shall grant this courtesy." Yuangang School, hidden White Sect, free and unrestrained Valley, and Fire God School were each commanded to deliver 5 million profound beads. But the Jie clan, the Jie clan, was to part with 10 million, a sum so vast it made the clan head, Jie Xingpeng, nearly choke on his own despair. 10 million beads. The thought alone brought a wave of nausea. It was a fortune that sustained the Jie clan's future, their very foundation for generations to come. Remove it, and the proud lineage would be reduced to mere mortals scrambling for survival. The emperor's gaze bore into Jie Xingpeng, steel and fire fused into one. Do you wish to safeguard your 10 million profound beads? Or your clan? The question struck him like lightning. A battle raged within him, between desire and duty. Blood would be shed, glory might be lost, yet the choice was clear. "My lord," he answered, voice tinged with resignation, "I wish to protect the Jie clan." Survival trumped wealth, and with that decision, the tides of fate were momentarily stilled. Even if the clan would stumble for centuries, annihilation would be avoided. Yet the monstrous Monkey King was relentless. It demanded 30 million profound beads within 10 days, a seemingly impossible burden. The clans scattered across the land would have to sell treasures, liquidate their legacies, and race against time to meet this divine ultimatum. Amid this chaos, the emperor of the Jiang Dynasty rose, a beacon of cunning and strategy. He proposed a bold solution. The Jiang Dynasty itself would advance the 30 million beads to the monstrous Monkey King, buying time for the clans to repay this debt. The Monster King, concerned only with the total, not the origin, consented without protest. Thus, the stage was set. Chu Feng, Ziling, and their companions, including the formidable Zhang Tianyi and Gu Tianchen, were invited to the Jiang Dynasty, not merely as guests, but as witnesses to this monumental transfer of power, despite the Zhang Dynasty's reputation as a land teeming with martial masters and fearsome cultivators. Chu Feng and his allies moved without hesitation. With the monstrous Monkey King at their side, even the might of the Jiang Dynasty could not intimidate them. Their chariot rolled forth, a silent storm crossing the vast continent, bound for the heart of this mighty empire. Behind them, the clans, Jie, Yuangang, fire god, hidden white, and free and unrestrained, slipped back to their territories, cloaked in humiliation and wary of the world's gaze. Memories of their glorious campaign against the World Spirit Guild haunted them. Once they had fought with unrivaled majesty, now they had been brought low by the arrival of a young prodigy named Chu Feng. The elders who had survived this ordeal were shadows of their former selves, the Jie clan mourning even the loss of an ancestor who had trained in solitude for a century. Their reputations, if revealed, would crumble like brittle porcelain. Hence, discretion became their only shield. Yet, where sorrow lingered in some, triumph blossomed in others. The World Spirit Guild, seizing the moment, sent delivery birds across the continent, broadcasting every detail of the victory. The fall of the five powers, the deaths of the clan heads, and the meteoric rise of Chu Feng became the talk of the 9 provinces. The Monstrous Monkey King, it was revealed, was the legendary conqueror of Jiexi and Tianquan a century prior, the sovereign of the 1,000-monster mountain, and a sworn elder brother to Chu Feng. The tides of perception shifted dramatically. Chu Feng, once whispered about as a merciless demon, now emerged as a young hero who dared to challenge the heavens and defy tyrants. Children who had once been threatened into obedience by his name now listened wide-eyed, enraptured by tales of his courage and unwavering justice. "Do not cry," elders would say. "Let me tell you of young hero Chu Feng, who stood against the forces of evil." Even the youngest heart sat still, eyes gleaming with awe, hanging on to every word of the heroic saga. Among those who already revered him, admiration ignited into fervor. Rumors spread of Chu Feng's plans to rebuild the Azure Dragon School, prompting eager disciples from across the lands to converge upon the Azure province, seeking guidance under his legendary tutelage. The young hero, once a figure of fear, had transformed completely, etched indelibly into the chronicles of the 9 provinces as a symbol of hope, courage, and the indomitable spirit of a true cultivator. Legends speak of powers so vast they reshape the very heavens, but few mortals ever glimpse such forces. Until now. In the heart of the Han province lay the Jiang Dynasty, a realm where prosperity and ancient majesty coexisted like the sun and moon. This dynasty had endured countless storms of war and time, its history stretching across millennia. The air itself seemed thick with the weight of ancient edicts and hidden power, a silent reminder that within its walls even the heavens bowed in respect. Days had passed since Chu Feng, alongside Ziling, Zhang Tianyi, the formidable Monstrous Monkey King, and Tianquan had entered this venerable land. Yet, since that fateful arrival, the traces of the Monstrous Monkey King and Tianquan had vanished as if swallowed by the wind. Rumor whispered that the emperor himself had summoned them for matters of grave importance. At first, unease gnawed at Chu Feng and his companions. Could something dire have befallen the Monstrous Monkey King? But the Jiang Dynasty extended no hint of hostility toward them. Instead, the dynasty lavished them with warmth and honor. Feasts of fragrant wine and rare delicacies arrived without end, and every day they received heaven medicine to cultivate their inner energies. Slowly, their apprehension ebbed. If even one misfortune had touched the Monkey King, such treatment would have been impossible. Here, power dictated respect, and their own strength, though formidable, could not rival the might that slumbered in the dynasty's ranks. One bright afternoon, as they strolled through a fragrant garden, laughter and life surrounding them, a sharp, vibrant voice cut through the tranquility. "Big brother Chu Feng, Lady Ziling, long time no see!" Their eyes lifted skyward, and there he was, a young man radiant in golden robes, descending with the grace of a soaring eagle. In moments, he landed before them with effortless elegance. This was none other than Zhang Wushang, the prince deemed the most brilliant within the Jiang Dynasty, whose talents were sung of even by Jiang Yini herself. "Brother Wushang, it's you!" Chu Feng's face lit with genuine joy. Their acquaintance had been brief, yet a debt of life lingered from the 1,000-monster mountain. That act of salvation had etched respect into Chu Feng's heart. In truth, the Jiang Dynasty's outward pursuit of Chu Feng had been more spectacle than threat. An elaborate mask hiding gratitude and favor, Wushang's timely interventions ensured Chu Feng had resources to ascend faster in his cultivation, a kindness that earned Chu Feng's trust. Without delay, Zhang Wushang guided the 3 companions to a tower that pierced the clouds. Within, an extravagant feast awaited. Gleaming with delicacies fit for celestial banquets, the prince's demeanor shifted. The proud aura of royalty softened into the warmth of a brotherly welcome. He poured wine, offered greetings, and spoke with an intimacy that made the golden throne seem like a mere backdrop. "I apologize," Jiang Wushang said, bowing with genuine humility. "I was secluded in cultivation and could not receive you at once. Please forgive my delay." Chu Feng laughed, shaking his head. "Brother Wushang, you need not be so formal." He looked at the young prince with admiration. In just 1 year, Jiang Wushang had leaped from the 9th level of the profound realm to the 2nd level of the heaven realm, a speed that even Chu Feng found staggering. Though to outsiders, Wushang appeared a prodigy, in the shadow of a legendary divine body like Ziling, even this brilliance shone with extraordinary luster. With a gleam of pride, Wushang continued, "Within my Jiang Dynasty, our people possess inherited bloodlines. When given the right resources, breaking through is but a small step, and my own bloodline, it approaches the emperor bloodline. One day, should fate favor me, I may awaken its full power, surpassing even what I am today." Ziling's curiosity sparked. Emperor bloodline, such power must demand tremendous cultivation resources. Yes? Indeed, Wushang replied with a spark in his eyes. Even if the dynasty devoted every treasure, it might still fall short. But when that day comes, I will transcend the heaven realm, becoming a martial lord, relying solely on my strength to gather what I need. Jiang Tianyi nodded, respect in his gaze, though his mind reached toward Chu Feng. Could the extraordinary light and power within Chu Feng be akin to what Wushang sought? Ziling, too, cast her eyes upon Chu Feng, sensing the subtle currents of a unique force that pulsed within him. Yet even he could not discern the full truth, shaking his head in quiet helplessness. "Brother Wushang," Ziling asked, probing further, "do emperor bloodlines grant unique powers beyond royal inheritance?" The prince's smile lingered, yet uncertainty shadowed his features. "I cannot say with certainty. None in the Jiang Dynasty has ever awakened an emperor bloodline. Legends speak only of their presence in the fabled lands, where the world's true geniuses gather." At the mention of the legendary land, a hush fell upon Chu Feng and his companions. This was no ordinary place. It was the crucible of the greatest warriors, a realm where destiny tested the worthy and where the limits of mortal potential were shattered and reborn. Ziling's eyes shone with intrigue, her questions sharpened with intent. "Then, is the emperor bloodline supreme among inherited powers?" Jiang Wushang's expression shifted, his golden gaze sharpening as if sensing something unseen. His alertness told them this discussion had unearthed more than idle curiosity. It had stirred the winds of destiny itself. And so, beneath the lingering mist of Jiang Dynasty gardens and the golden glow of a feast above the clouds, a tale of awakening, bloodline, and the promise of unprecedented power began to unfurl. A story destined to ripple through the heavens, leaving every mortal who witnessed it trembling at the edges of fate.